All right, people. So, yeah, man, the you know Constitutional Review Committee is finally out with their final submission to the president for amendments, and the president is holding on to it until next year, where they will start the implementations and everything. In as much as I have some few problems with the processes involving, everything, Charlie, the thing there inside the be, you understand that the inside is area at here. So yeah, man, we are going to go into it. We can't take all of them, but we will step on. You pick on one and two. So they say in the office of the president, these are the things they expect. So the president used to have 4 terms, and they are suggesting that 4 terms is too short, so they should take it to 5 terms, so every president can have 5 terms, and then voting comes. And then you see the voting is done in December. They say the voting should be done in November, so that the presidents and the incoming and outgoing president can have 2 months to do the handing over and everything smoothly. You understand me? So that one is that about that. And also, the minimum age you need to have to become a president in Ghana is 40 years. Now the amendment committee is suggesting to bring that to 30 years. So when you are 30 years in Ghana, you can become a president, which also smells nice, because when you want to, consider the Burkina Faso President Traore, he's a young man and doing great. So yeah, man, 30 years is not bad. And then immunities after office. That is a big concern, because up till now, when a president vacates his office, he can only be interrogated and charged for accountability after 4 years. Now these people are suggesting that immediate from office you should be eligible to be accountable for your actions and everything straight up from office. You don't wait for any 4 years before people can interrogate you. No, it should be straightforward, which also smells so good. You understand the things. So yeah, man, the things there, Charlie, things are where they smell good. Yeah, man, and say no more than 57 ministers, including regional ministers, deputy ministers. They shouldn't be more than 57, and you shouldn't have deputy ministers for regional ministers. Regional ministers don't need deputies, so don't give them deputies. They should just be regional ministers and take action, because a lot of big men are there. They are not doing anything. Their deputies are working for them, and they are taking the bigger money, and the people are paying the deputies for no reason. You understand? So that is about that too. And the MP, no MP is supposed to become a minister. You understand? If you are an MP, you cannot hold the position of a ministerial position again. And if you are a minister, you cannot hold any public office again. Just as MP, you can as well hold any public office attached to the MP. Your purpose is to serve the people in parliament, making laws and things. And as a minister, your purpose is to be minister. You don't have to have appointment here, and then you're taking money from all the angles and things. It's not, you will lose focus. You will not be consistent with your work. So that also smells so good. Yeah, so the president is still active. The president is still active when they are outside of the country. You see, in a case where I think this year they see the president, the vice president, and the speaker of parliament were all not in the country, and so it was a case of emergency, and that they are declaring that the chief justice take an action, amongst other things. In cases like that, the president is still active, whether in the country or outside the country. The president is still the president and can take necessary action. So don't do that. And then when it comes to the how do we call it, Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament is still the, head in command of the country, but they cannot succeed the president in case the president passes away, or a president and the vice president are dead. Let's use the word are dead. The the Speaker of Parliament cannot succeed the president for that period of 3 months, because there is a law that somebody must succeed the president for 3 month course. Then an election will be held and everything. It shouldn't be the Speaker of Parliament. Why? Because you see, we've witnessed when Alban Bagby was Speaker of Parliament while Akufo-Addo was president. And so let's assume Akufo-Addo died. Then Alban Bagby will take the seat of the presidency, and Alban Bagby is an NDC person. So the government is an MPP government, but when the speaker is an NDC, then the NDC is taking over an MPP government, which will be catastrophe amongst other things. So yeah, man, that one is also, it smells good. You understand the thing? Yeah, man, this one also smells good, because they say once you have lost election, you have 2 months to exit office. You cannot make certain decisions. You cannot sign new contracts. You cannot increase salaries for people. You cannot appoint new people. You cannot do certain things. You cannot write for state of emergency that there is an emergency, we need this money to do this thing currently. No. Once you have lost office, you've lost those rights, which is also good. Yeah. Now let's go to Parliament. They say Parliament shouldn't be more than 276 people, as they already have. The current number of people in Parliament is okay. So there shouldn't be more numbers than 276 people in Parliament. That is the first thing. They say dual citizenship inclusion. This, I don't really like it, because it favors those people. Even the dual citizenship, they say they should change that concept to multi-citizenship, multiple citizenship, that you can have more than two. Dual means two. So you can have more than two citizenship. If you are Ghanaian, you can decide to have multiple. So it should be multiple citizenship. And then when you are holding a multiple citizenship, you can still assume the office of the president, the vice president, the ministers, the MPs, the chief justice, amongst other things, which I think, no, it doesn't go well with me. I don't like that one. Yeah. And as I said earlier, an MP cannot hold any other public office and still be an MP. You understand the thing? And if you have resigned from MP position to take a different position, it should be a period of 12 months. If you want to resign from being an MP and take a different position as a minister or public position, it should be, you should relax for 12 months before you can apply for any other public service. You understand the thing? So that one also smells nice. And they say no more secret voting for amendment bills. It should be on camera. Everybody should come and say, this bill, I agree that I want to vote for the bill. I don't want to vote for it. It shouldn't be a secret voting. Yeah, man, which is also right. Yeah. Right to public participation in, legislative, processes. The public can come in when they want to take decisions like bylaws and things where, Sam George came with the LGBTQ and things, there should be public, engagement, which participation or whatever, which is also is some way for me, yeah, but it's not a big deal. And this one, I also love this one. It is the MP's engagement with their constituents, because I've been saying this here over and over that, primarily the MPs are supposed to engage with their constituents before they come to a parliament and make decisions on behalf of the people, they have to seek for their, opinions before, and their validations before you come and speak on their behalf. So this bill is saying that, yeah man, something like that should be done. Every now and then the MP must engage the constituents in a town hall, and it should be majority should come there, not just 3-4 people come and say we had a town hall meeting. No. Yes, no. That's also good. This one is very nice. He say, parliaments cannot punish an individual or media for false publications. You see, in the case of Black Rasta, in the days where Black Rasta said almost all of the, majority of the MPs in parliament, they smoke weed or they use cannabis, and he was called to order and he has to beg them and say, oh, apologies, I did not say it well. Something like that shouldn't happen. You shouldn't take powers and say you want to punish people, you want to revoke something, no, you don't have that power. If somebody had done any false publication about you or the parliament as a whole, or a member of parliament, the process is to sue the person and the person appear before court. Don't use any power to do any nonsense thing. That is also nice. It smells good. Now on the EC is supposed to be made of 3 people and not 7 people as it used to be. So we have to have the commissioner and 2 deputy commissioners. You understand? And an EC is supposed to have a 10 years term that cannot be renewable. You cannot once you have served your 10 years term, you cannot be voted or appointed to that position again. And you shouldn't be over 65 years to be an EC chair or member of the EC committee, electoral commissions committee. So if you become 65 before your 10 years reach, you'll be out. If you are 10 years before you're 65, you'll be out. So whichever comes first, you have to go with it, which is also nice. The same thing applies to the NCCE people. You have to serve a 10 years in office, and then you leave. You cannot renew it, and the 65 years applicable. And what I don't understand about the NCC thing is that they say the NCC, National Commission on Civic Education, they want it to be changed to National Commission on Civic Engagement, which it doesn't even hold anything for me. Civic engagement as in what? We don't see the work of these NCC people. We don't see it. This is my space now. This is my interest. The National Media Commission. Talking about the National Media Commission, they used to have 80-member commission. Now they say they want it to be 7 people, not 18 people again. And if I want to break it down, it will be too much. But one legal practitioner by profession, 18 years in practice, will be appointed by the president to be the chair. You understand? And then 2 media owners associations, 2 people will be nominated or elected from the media owners association to join the committee. Then professional journalists association will bring 2 people. So the National Media Commission is expected to safeguard against private media monopolization and anti-concentration, which the private media is taking over power from the media houses. It's giving a certain power, it's having a dominance. No. So that is nice. The National Media Commission is expected to provide an appropriate technology neutral definition to the media. Do you understand? And in this, it means they should give a certain definition in the constitution to the media, that will make it possible for the media to include all kind of media, including the new media, the social media, the internet, the newspapers, the all kind of media will be inclusive in the definition of media. In that case, now the media, the National Media Commission can now make rules and laws that will govern the social media people, the new media people, the bloggers, the content creators, the whatever people. You understand me? So this also sounds good. If it is given that power, now they can come up and create and do sanctions, because what is going on the social media is crazy. Yeah, so that also smells good. Now on the land commissions, yeah, so public lands should be vested in the people of Ghana. Public lands should be for the people of Ghana and not government. It doesn't belong to government. That also sounds good. And foreigners can acquire land by leasing for a period of 50 years. They cannot lease a land more than 50 years at a time. When the time is up, they can renew the agreement. So there is another law about retirement age or the retiring age. So we know retiring age in Ghana is 65, but this provision is asking for the fact that parliaments can go around it in any way. Maybe persons with disability, they should have a retirement age at this. People with some difficulties, people with certain, maybe the professors in schools and things can have certain twists with the retirement age. Parliament will do that, and give every office or every public office the age limit for their pension. You understand? But in all that, it shouldn't exceed 70 years, which also smells good. Yeah. Now on the citizens, pre-trial detention shall be the last resort and not a routine. Yeah. When something happen, no, they will detain you. We detain you, and no, they should be. That should be the last resort. After every other means fails, then that should come by. It shouldn't be a routine that once we get hold of somebody, we might detain the person, and detention, pre-trial detention, it should be the last resort, which also sounds good. And then they are talking about the fair trial, fair trial for every citizen, which is right, because see, once upon a time I had an issue with a magistrate, and he told it to my face. He told me to my face that, hey, I can send you to jail without even passing through court, without passing through anything, without hearing. You go straight to no. Forget your position. Every person, every criminal, every human being that is a suspect on a case deserves a fair trial before whatever. I don't know their terms and everything, but every citizen deserves a fair trial, hearing. You cannot send somebody to jail because you have power and all those things. That also sounds good, but the implementation will be the case, because people are power, whatever, and everybody in Ghana has the right to a legal aid. You understand? Everybody in Ghana has the right to a legal aid. When you appear before court and you don't have money to hire lawyers, and the state is supposed to give you a legal aid that will guide you around the things. You understand me? So it also says that death penalty should be eliminated from the constitution. That any any crime that constitutes or deserves a death penalty should be a life imprisonment instead of death penalties, that nobody is supposed to be killed, slaughtered, or whatever. So in some way, because if you kill somebody, you have to be killed. So when you say death penalty should be eliminated, it's some way for me, but It's not a big deal though if you are serving life imprisonment. You see people on a life imprisonment this one, and the next 5 years they are out of prison. So it's some way be, but that man, that is that about that one too. Right to housing. Yeah, every human being in Ghana has the right to housing, and in this they have sub whatever acts and things that they say. This is talking about the fact that maybe people are in a certain slum and there is a case of emergency that people need to live there. When you want the people to live there, you must provide them with housing before you take them. Oh, the system is like what the mayors have been doing, that oh, this area is congested and we not decongest the area, so we are sacking people here. When you sack the people, provide them with housing. Nice one. Yeah. And if you like, maybe you are building roads and it passes through people's houses and things, you must provide them with a house before you break their houses. So every human being has the right to housing. That is also nice. And right to education and religious coercion must stop. You understand? Right to education, religious coercion must stop. In these cases where they say, oh, you are in a missionary school or mission school, and so you must worship by force. No, this law, this amendment is saying that when you are in a Christian school and you are not a Christian, you personally will decide whether you want to worship with the Christians when they are worshiping. You can decide that I don't want to worship. I'm a traditional, I don't want to worship. Nobody is supposed to force you with the saying that you are in a Christian school. Even if it is a private school, once you are serving a public, you are serving the public, be it a public school, mission school, or private school, you cannot force anybody to worship your belief or your way. Right to privacy and digital informations or whatever. Yes. So right now, when I have a private video with you and you decide to put it out there, I can see you because I have the right to my privacy and digital informations. And so you see, every call you make, every text message you send and things, there are third parties that have access to those data and things. So this amendment law is saying that, you see, those third parties that have access to your data, your metadata, and your personal private informations and things, are to safeguard it. They shouldn't leak it. Once there is a leak, you can sue the system for that, because it's your private, it's your privacy, it's your own data. So you have the right to your private data. The only time anybody can have access to that is when you have committed something that needs that you should be traced with your day-to-day activities and things, the calls you make, the transactions you make, and all those things. Until that, nobody is supposed to leak any information like, oh, you have this amount of money in your bank account and this. No. So that is the right to privacy and digitalization, or digital whatever. That also, it'd be nice one. And they say they have to replace that law, or that right, that is right to disabled persons. They have to change it to the rights for people with disability, or persons with disability. It's just an English term. So according to UN and whatever, the people are not disabled people, they are people with disability. So the term rights to disabled people or disabled persons should be rights to people with disability. It's just an English matter. And the right to health, I love that one too. So the right to health states that nobody is supposed to be denied emergency service because maybe they don't have money, they don't have their cards ready, they don't have. Once the case is an emergency, you have to take care of the people. If it is about money, government to provide emergency things, Unfortunately, in Ghana, when you have an emergency, they'll make you pay money for the things used for you, and then they will not give you receipt. They say they cannot give you receipt because it's their personal something that they've sold to you because you had an emergency. So they are taking advantage of the fact that you are in a state where you need the thing urgently, and so you have no other rights. You just have to tell them, okay, you use it, pay. I'll pay you, use it, and then you pay, and they not give you, whilst the government is providing those things for emergency cases. You understand? So when you have emergency, nobody can deny you the access to treat you, or because maybe they deserve some money that you don't have the money. No, the right to health, that is what he's talking about. And so that one also smells good. And finally, the constitutional review is supposed to be done every 20 to 25 years. There should be a constitutional review so that it matches the day-to-day activities and the how civilization is growing faster, amongst other things. So every 20 to 25 years, the constitution is supposed to be reviewed. You understand? That is a nice one. So all in all, I think it's a good one. And so let's wait until January next year when the president starts the implementations, amongst other things, and we see how it goes. Rastafari.